Welcome to the Strong Minds, Loving Hearts podcast. My name is Charles Arroyave. I'm the principal of St. Rose of Lima School. And today we are at Malvern Prep having a conversation with a former student of ours, Spencer. Spencer, talk to us a little bit about your beginnings at St. Rose of Lima School.
Okay, so the first reason why I came to St. Rose because my family, a lot of people went there, including like my cousin and my dad, and my little cousin. Well, my older cousin actually. But I also wanted to go to St. Rose because I just wanted, keep like the legacy going. And I heard about like all the staff. They were pretty nice there, including you, Mr. Jones, a couple more people I mentioned. And I just feel like it would push me to like do better things in life. What do you think about St. Rose?
Well, I think a lot about St. Rose. I think that you were a great addition to the school, and I think we really got to know each other very intimately over the 3 years. And I think you made a huge transition and adjustment throughout those 3 years.
One thing I would definitely say about St. Rose is like everybody there, they definitely like thought the best of me. I would never thought that I would be going to Malvern if it wasn't for you guys, especially all like the things I did, including like music, like the gala and stuff like that. So I feel like me spending more time with you outside of St. Rose, getting ready for me, be better in life. I feel like that was definitely benefited for me. I really want to thank you for that.
You're welcome. Of course, my pleasure. I would say that, not just for you, but any student that comes to St. Rose, we want to offer them an opportunity to change their lives. And we always saw the potential, not just me, everyone who worked with you, we always saw the potential. It needed to be ironed out a little bit. We, like any student, had some things to work out, but we couldn't be prouder of where you are now. So Spencer, tell me about the first day when you finally got to Malvern. Was it what you thought it was going to be?
So at first when I got to Malvern, I thought it was like a whole complete different experience. I thought I had to, change the way like how I do things and stuff. But when I first stepped on the campus, I fell in love by a lot of people, not just my shadows, not just the staff, the whole environment. For example, the first time when I got here, I just saw so many, freshmen and sophomores. I thought it was like a pretty good, experience. Like they all were nice to each other. They were nice to the shadows that they had. And I feel like that brought like a joy to me because it showed that I could actually talk to people around here anytime I needed something, not just academics, but outside of school. And I felt like Malvern has always like give you that opportunity to like be yourself and like just do like what you like to do. If you ever need help from somebody, they will always be there for you. Yeah.
If you were to go back a year in time to where you were in 8th grade and you had to give any advice to a current 8th grader who's beginning this process as we're currently in the season of the admissions process, what advice would you give to them?
Let's see. I would probably say don't freak out. Everything's going to be okay. Like just keep your composure. Everything's going to be fine and just be your best, honestly. And like if you ever do get into like a struggle, I know either you or like Mr. Jones, like they will always be there for you. And then like another thing I would say is take a step back at first. Think about what you want to do. Think about it thoroughly. Just think about how you're going to finish it. Think from start to finish. Think about how like you're going to complete it. And I promise you everything will be fine.
Can you talk to me maybe a little bit about what is similar and what is different between your experience at St. Rose and what you've experienced over this first year here at Malvern?
I think it's similar. I think the environment, like I talked about earlier, I think I got treated very good at St. Rose and at Malvern. I never had any like problems with like other classmates or like any other staff. So I think like that's like one good thing about it. Probably a difference is a difference would probably be the academics, basically. The academics are like, they're both really good, really exceptional. The only thing is going from like class to class and stuff like that. Like I have like different classes, especially like different days. So I feel like the first time when I got to Malvern, like I had to, work my schedule out a little bit. But overall, I think they're kind of similar. But at the same time, it's like it's different from going from like 4 classes every day to like you have different classes each day. So I feel like it's probably like one difference.
Do you feel that you were prepared academically to make the transition from St. Rose to Malvern?
At first, I actually did. So when I first got to Malvern, I thought academically I would have to, like stay on top of everything, like really fast. If I ever got anything wrong, I thought it would like be the end of like my class or stuff. And I feel like over time, I got out of that fear. Before, I would just tell myself to, stay calm, because like jumping from St. Rose to Malvern is a big leap, but it's not as big as you think. And sometimes I feel like some students like 8th grade, they might overthink that, and then like they might like let that fear over them.
When you first got to St. Rose in 6th grade, did you think going to a prep school was a possibility?
At first, not really. I feel like I was just going to go to, like any other high school, but I feel like over the 3 years, I feel like my potential is like way more than, just like going to like any other school. Since like in 8th grade, when I thought about Malvern, at first I didn't think I was going to get in there, because I thought I didn't have like, the abilities or like accomplish any goals that I wanted to, achieve to go to Malvern. But then over time I realized when I'm taking classes outside of school and stuff, like with you in the summer and stuff like that, I knew that like I could definitely like come to Malvern like any other prep school and like, just be myself.
Can you talk to us a little bit about both your course load last year and then what you're currently studying?
So currently I have 8 classes. I have Algebra 2 honors. I'm doing American literature. I'm also doing science, church history, history. It's kind of like the same. Like it didn't really change from last year, but it made me like think of like a new schedule. And I feel like the education, like the academics here, they're not really different from St. Rose, but like it's definitely a big leap from like what I did last year and like the years before. And I feel like my courses this year, I feel like I could definitely, strive to be better, like take like the most challenging classes for me. But right now, I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the challenging courses? And you had honors algebra 2 last year?
Last year I had honors geometry. Then
Honors geometry.
Yeah.
So you didn't have honors algebra 1 last year. You
Nah.
went straight into honors geometry.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the math transition from St. Rose to an honors geometry course your freshman year?
So coming from Algebra 1 to honors geometry, I didn't think I would like have like the potential to do that. But once I came, I learned that doing math with you, especially like throughout school, like the summer classes, I feel like you were definitely one of the biggest factors of why I could do challenging math courses and stuff like that. And especially since I'm doing honors algebra 2, I feel like you definitely played a big part in that. I hope that my next 2 years, I would definitely be able to do challenging courses like that, like honors, honors calc and stuff like that. So I feel like definitely like a pretty big transition, but like the most part, it didn't really like affect me really.
So I know at St. Rose, we're a co-ed school. We have both boys and girls, and oftentimes there's apprehensions around going to a single-sex school. Can you talk to us a little bit about the transition from going from a co-ed boys and girls to a single-sex high school?
I feel like going to like a single-sex high school wasn't really a big factor for me, but I don't think it affects me at all, because like I go to school for like education and stuff like that. So, and also like being around like same gender, I don't think it's really bad, because they like doing things that you like to do. We're very similar through school and throughout school. And I feel like going to a like the same gender school, I feel like it didn't really bother me much, because like I'm always gonna be focused on academics. I'm never gonna be focused on like something else. So I feel like it didn't like bring negative or positive for me.
Can you talk to me a little bit about what your interests are outside of school, and even what you were involved? I know you were very involved while you were at St. Rose. Can you talk a little bit about the different activities that you were involved in at St. Rose?
Okay, so like you said, like, at St. Rose or at Malvern, so.
Both.
Oh, okay.
Honestly,
So
both, and how you
okay.
transitioned.
Oh, okay, I got you. So at St. Rose, I did theater, or like I did like musicals and stuff. What else did I do? Played basketball there, and I feel like those things for sure also helped me like reach my potential, like know like what I can do, and I feel like I could definitely do more throughout my next 2 years at Malvern. I did like outside school things from St. Rose. So, and at Malvern, let's see, I do BSU, stands for like Black Student Union.
Okay.
I also do First Take, where you like do like debates and stuff like that. And I also do like inclusivity and belonging.
So Spencer, I know Malvern is not located near neither St. Rose of Lima or where you live.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the commute and how preparing for the commute has maybe altered some things that you can and cannot do?
I definitely did have to bend my schedule a little bit. Like now I wake up earlier. Like I wake up 6:30, 6:45ish every day. I take the train up. I take the SEPTA train. It takes me about like 45 minutes to get there. I feel like that definitely helped me, get me ready for the day. So that's pretty good. And as soon as I get off the train, I take the shuttle to Malvern. So it's like not really like a big deal. Same way how I used to get the same rules, same way I kind of get like to Malvern. I can still act myself and everything.
Great. You mentioned Mr. Jones a little earlier and how he pushed you and how he saw you.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the role he's played in your life at St. Rose of Lima and how he possibly impacted you to where you are today?
Yeah, I feel like Mr. Jones was definitely more than a teacher. I feel like he was like that person that like always motivated you. For example, one time when I did the gala, I think it was just last year. Before the gala, I was feeling like a little bit nervous, and he told me everything was gonna be fine. And then I feel like it's just history from there. But like he's definitely the one person. If you ever struggling, he will always bring you back up. Even if he's like strict with you or anything, he means it out of love. He's definitely a very strong piece for St. Rose. Just like you and him, like y'all are definitely the best for St. Rose and like about that environment.
So Spencer, tell us, post St. Rose and being at Malvern, what have been some different opportunities where you've been able to connect with St. Rose from last year?
That's a good question. Let's see. Different opportunities that like I have now, like before St. Rose.
Basically, how have we been able to keep a relationship even though you're no longer a student at St. Rose?
Okay, got it. Let's see. I mean, I could communicate with with other staff from St. Rose. I feel like that's a good thing. I also come back. I think I came back last year and this year to like, the high school fairs, to like represent Malvern, and I feel like that definitely keeps like a strong bond between me, you, and Mr. Jones. I feel like students from St. Rose that I usually talk to, like the people that graduated in my class, I feel like that also keeps like a strong bond with me and St. Rose. So I feel like there's like a lot of things to talk about. But like one of the things I want to highlight, getting called back to do stuff for St. Rose. Like, I feel like that's something that like I would love to do, like including this podcast. And I feel like doing that can definitely help St. Rose. And I want to continue this, so that way it can make Malvern better, it can make St. Rose better, and just have like a better understanding for both schools.
Post St. Rose, a lot of graduates come back quite often to St. Rose. What do you think draws students to want to come back to St. Rose after they've graduated?
Definitely the memories, not only like with each other, but like just the school in general. Like my 3 years at St. Rose was like probably one of the best 3 years I ever had. I did so many things that I never thought I would be able to do, and including like doing musicals and stuff like that. I never thought I would be singing, but it definitely turned out better for me. Coming back to St. Rose is not just a memory, but it's like it shows that you're moving on in life. Jumping from middle school to high school is definitely something that like people will probably get emotional about. Coming back to St. Rose just brings all the attention back to you. You see like the people that you used to see every single day, Monday through Friday. So it's like the reason why students come back to St. Rose is definitely because of like the memories. What would you say your favorite memory, or like one of your favorite memories? I know there's a lot to pick.
So I have a lot of favorite memories, but one thing that I find challenging as a principal is that I was a teacher first. And while I love being a principal, there's nothing I love more than actually having the face-to-face interaction with students, and honestly teaching math. So I really had a great, now that you mentioned math, I had a great opportunity to work with your graduating class and really just, give them some of the knowledge that I had around math. So I'd say that's one of my favorite memories, is having the opportunity to help support your math so that you would be able to take a class that I always knew you were capable of taking, but they help you with the confidence to know that you could be successful. And the second one would be having grit and perseverance. I think is a very, very strong quality that transcends multiple places. And there wasn't a better example of you being able to show your perseverance through adversity than when we had the musical, The Little Mermaid, and you were Sebastian, and our mics completely went. Our mics went. We had no volume, a packed house. It was hot. People were sweaty, and you didn't miss a beat. You pushed right through. We could hear you clearly, and the show continued. And then that showed me that in a moment of adversity, you'd be more than able to step up to the plate. So that showed me a lot about your character.
Thank you. I would definitely say one of my favorite memories was the last musical I ever did, Charlie Brown. I feel like that last show definitely got me emotional because like I realized I was moving on, like I was going to like a different path, moving up to like a different level. And I feel like that last show, it taught me that like not everything lasts forever, but like it could still happen. I feel like after I got done, Mr. Jones, he got emotional too, and then I was thinking about everything that I did at St. Rose, not just the academics, the sports, the musicals and stuff like that. It showed like I accomplished another level that I never thought I'd be able to, attend. And I feel like one more like favorite memory I definitely had was the summer classes. I feel like you definitely saw like a good potential in me, especially like after like all the HSPT tests and stuff like that. You like pushing me to be the best I could be. It showed that like you actually care for your students, like not just only academically, but like you show like a different relationship with people. And I feel like that's definitely like pushed a lot of people, not just me, but like Samir and like other students at St. Rose. You definitely like pushed them to like a new level.
I know you came to Malvern with one of your classmates, Samir.
Yeah.
And I know you've spoken in the past about how close you and him were. How has that relationship changed, or how has it been, coming to Malvern with one of your classmates?
I feel like Samir is definitely one of my, my strongest friends. He's really, really nice, he's really helping to the community. And I feel like coming to Malvern with him definitely kept me going. Doing things with him, like seeing him outside of school, and then knowing like I get to see him every day, it's like a good feeling. Samir is definitely one of the friends that like you could talk to, like about anything. And it's like since he came to Malvern, like you know that he would never like leave, especially like after all the things that we like been through, including St. Rose. But Samir has definitely been like one of the people that I could talk to about anything, like every day.
Talk to us about your family, about your support system back at home, and what role they've played both at St. Rose and here in your transition to Malvern.
I feel like my grandfather, I feel like him telling me about St. Rose, beginning me to St. Rose was definitely one of the best things that happened through my life. If I wasn't with him, I don't know like where I would be right now. I'd probably be like another school, but I probably wouldn't have like the same experience I have here at Malvern. Another big piece of my family is definitely my cousin. He definitely strived me to do better things. Like he's been to like a lot of like the events I've been to, like the musicals, the gala, and like sometimes if I ever played like basketball, he was always there. So I definitely feel like he was like another piece, to see like where I'm at right now. One more piece I would probably say is definitely my dad. Like, even though like if I'm not always with him, he'll definitely call me every day and tell me like, hey, like you're doing really well, and like he's always like a good check-in person for me. I love him for that.
So my understanding, Spencer, is that although you transferred in sixth grade, you're not the only person in your family that
Yes.
has gone to St. Rose.
Yes.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the legacy?
Gosh. So my cousin went to St. Rose 10 years ago. He was there actually he went there. He was there in kindergarten. Then he came back in 7th grade. So that was really good that my grandfather mentioned it to me. And my dad, he went to St. Rose about three to 4 decades ago. So when I got mentioned about that, I was shocked because like I never knew like somebody went there. I want to keep the legacy going, and I feel like my grandfather like mentioning St. Rose to me was like one of the best things that ever happened to me because without St. Rose, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now, and I think that y'all definitely created like a positive like attitude for me.
I know it's early. Have you started to think what you might possibly want to do post Malvern?
I think when I do go to college, I want to do sports management, like sports analysis, because I feel like sports for me is like not just like sports, it's also like something I want to like, pursue. So I would say probably sports management because like I like helping people, especially helping teams throughout. I might not have like a clear answer yet of what I want to do, but that's something definitely to think about for me.
Is there any specific time that you can remember where you felt uncomfortable and that might have pushed you to this next level?
That's a good one. Is it just with you or is like also other staff?
It could be anyone. It could be anyone. You mentioned a little bit in the past about how you didn't think that this would be a possibility. So how did it go from you not thinking it could be a possibility to you thinking that this could really happen?
I think after my 7th grade year coming to 8th grade, I think we had a talk at like the start of the school year about like I could do big things, especially after all like the shadows I did like at other high schools. After that, I really believed in myself. I feel like with you and Mr. Jones, I feel like y'all definitely like, saw something in me, and also like the different level from coming from St. Rose to Malvern. I feel like that conversation, all the conversations that we had throughout my 3 years at St. Rose, I think it showed, like a different level of support, a really strong bond between us three. And like not only since I'm just at Malvern, I can also vent to you about, if I'm like struggling with something, or like if I want you to like, help me with something like in math, for example. I feel like those conversations definitely strive me to like, my best way that I am right now.
Can you talk to us maybe about one area that you kind of had to work on to get you to the place where you're at today?
Definitely my emotions. In sixth grade, I had like a hard time controlling my emotions, and I feel like that pushed me back a little bit. But like I said, with all the support I had from you, like from other staff members and like classmates, I felt like that was definitely something I could definitely work on, because I learned that like my temper that I used to have back at St. Rose for like a short amount of time, that showed me that like nothing's gonna like come to you like the way that you're acting, like the negative attitude that you like had before. That's not gonna work in like later years of your life. And I think that like after I had that talk with myself, I definitely saw a different like person in me. It helped me a lot, like not just talking to like myself, but also talking to classmates, like having like better composure about things, and it's not just physically, it's like very mental. And I see that like that's going to help you do big things in life. What would you say your perspective on like my weakness was?
So I think you were really, really quick to respond in an emotional way, at times warranted, right? But I felt that your maturity, your self-control, especially, and I would agree, moving from 7th grade to 8th grade, I saw a huge shift in your composure and your self-control. And I think that helped propel you to where you are today.
I definitely agree, for sure.
I know you were involved in musicals for 3 years in a row while at St. Rose. Is that a passion you already had prior to coming to St. Rose, or can you talk to us a little bit about how that came about and your experiences through the music department at St. Rose?
So coming to St. Rose, I never thought I would be singing, like doing musicals. And Mr. Jones, he brought that specialty out of me. Like doing musicals at St. Rose, like they were not just like, just a thing to do, but it was like definitely something that like helped a lot of students, like made them see like the best in themselves. Like coming from being like a dancer, like the first musical, to being a lead the next 2 years, that is something that I never thought I would be doing. And it's like doing musicals at St. Rose, it brings something out of you that you never thought you would see like your entire life. And it takes like a lot of like mentally, it takes a lot to do, especially like all the acting, all the singing, all the lines you have to memorize, where to stand and stuff. So it's like one big motion, but like you also have to be aware of like how you're going to do it. And like you always got to think about, how am I going to finish this musical? How am I going to start? How am I going to, persevere, like everything that I don't like about it? But then at the end, you realize, oh, wow, like I just got to do this whole thing, and I actually felt good about it. And it shows that like sometimes when you do something, you might think you don't like it, but at the end, it shows that you have like a lot more common with that certain thing.
So I know a lot of parents and family members came out to the musical. How did that feel to be able to perform in front of a packed house?
At first, I feel like everybody has this nervous feeling in their stomach when you first do it. But halfway throughout the show, you realize that you're doing really well. Or if you do feel bad about yourself, you're like, hey, I'm doing it. Like, I'm actually getting through this. When you get finished it, you see like, wow, I just performed in I just performed in front of like a lot of people. And not a lot of people can do that, but it also shows a different growth in you.
So Spencer, I played basketball a lot growing up, and basketball is my favorite sport. And we have an annual tradition of teachers versus students. It's probably one of the times where I can just kind of take my educator hat off and just have a good time. Can you talk to us a little bit about maybe what your experience was with the teachers versus students basketball game?
So for the 2 years I did it, 7th and 8th grade year, the first year, 7th grade, we went against y'all. I was talking a lot of smack. I was like, "Oh yeah, we gonna beat y'all," and it was like pretty funny because like, I felt very good about myself, and like I didn't think like y'all were that good. And then once we got to the actual game, we got our butts kicked. Like it wasn't even funny, and I felt like that showed that like sometimes I could be a little clumsy, but sometimes I also gotta like know my worth. Y'all were like grown people, so like it was like we didn't really stand a chance. And like the funniest part about it is after the seventh grade one, they changed the score to make it seem like the game was close, but we got beaten by like 30 points, so it was like pretty bad. And like the eighth grade one, we came back like better than ever. Like we was like, oh yeah, like this like a different year. Like we're gonna beat these guys. And then the same exact thing happened. I don't even think I scored both games. I don't even think I scored both games. And it shows that like sometimes I can have like a really funny attitude, but like I gotta realize that like I'm not gonna be better than everybody, and I have to like I have to know what my worth is. What would you say the most fun or funniest memory you probably have throughout my 3 years at St. Rose?
One memory I really enjoy is at the end of the year we have field day.
Oh yeah.
And between getting dunked in the dunk tank, I think students get a lot of fun out of it. But I also get a lot of fun of just seeing the general excitement
Yeah.
of the day. We work so hard for so long. We put so much time into getting students, ready for high school. That it's a day where we could just sit back and just kind of enjoy all the hard work that we've put in throughout the year and have genuine fun. And that's honestly every year, that's probably my favorite experience. Spencer, now that you're here at Malvern, what are you really proud of?
I would say that I'm proud of getting myself here. All the things that I had to do to get here and like to push myself mentally and like not only physically but also mentally. I'm proud of that, I get to do like the things that I do. I'm proud of like how I did like academically. I'm also proud of what like the people around me like did for me. Not just my family, but like you, Samir, Mr. Jones, and like I see that like I actually helped myself get to where I'm at. And like at first people don't think, oh wow, like I can't do this. Like they might give up at first, but I think I've like persevered like over my biggest fear, and that was like messing up in front of a lot of people. And like, I feel like that might affect me my whole life. But people like they wanted me to go to Malvern, like they wanted to see me do big things in life, and I feel like since I listened, it helped me get through a lot of things. And I feel like that's probably like one of the most proudest things that I did at Malvern was like listen to myself and do the right thing. What would you say like the proudest thing that you did?
Have a lot of proud moments when it comes to you. It's different it's hard to pinpoint one, but I think you've alluded to it a couple of times. I think I always believed you could do it. I always believed that you had the goods, but you started believing it in yourself and building your self-confidence. And I will say, not only getting into Malvern, but the fact that you had a choice to attend the high school that you wanted to go to because of the hard work that you put in. I didn't put the work in. Mr. Jones didn't put the work in. At the end of the day, you were the one who was willing to put the work in with the right supports. And I'm proud of the young man that you have flourished into and that I know that you will continue to become. If you were the parent of a student who was looking for a new school and you were interested in St. Rose, what would you tell them they would be getting in their experience and education at St. Rose?
I would definitely say that like they would be reaching like the student, if they ever like thought about coming to St. Rose, they would reach their full potential. I feel like St. Rose brings the best out of you, and I feel like the classmates there, the students there, and like the staff there, and like the whole environment, honestly. St. Rose, like it brings out like another version of you, and like not only just academically, 'cause like the academics are really good, and like it showed that you could do better than what you always think you can do. But also like the clubs and stuff like that, like not just the sports. Like I said, for me, when I found out I could sing, that showed that like I could push myself to a better potential. If I ever wanted to like send my kid there, I would say like you're gonna do really well, especially if I know like the the principal, like the staff there, like I know that you're going to be in good hands once you go there. What would you say this is like my goodbye to like, I don't know if our 8th grade class was like your favorite class, but like how did you feel once we graduated? Like what was like your goodbye moment?
I actually cried. I don't know if you remember, but I actually cried at your graduation because, and it's hard as a principal, as an educator. You try not to have favorites. You try to teach, and reach everyone the same way. But obviously, you're going to have different levels of personal relationships with students. And what I think is always challenging for me personally is, in most cases, I've known students 5, 6, 7, 8 years, have worked with them, are very close to them, and then passing the baton to another school and saying, here is the best that I have. Please take care of them over the next 4 years. I find that to be the greatest challenge. But days like today, when I can come back and talk to you and see that you're doing fine and that Malvern was the right fit, just reminds me that we're doing the right thing. And also, secondarily, just seeing the young man that you're becoming keeps pushing me to continue to do what it is that I'm doing.